Hey everyone, it's G Martin here. In today's video we're going to be talking about 5 useful tips and tricks for your DJI Spark. Now I've had my DJI Spark for about 6 months now. I've got a great amount of flight time with it. I've used all the little bells and whistles that come included with it. In fact, I've even crashed it a few times. So I think I've learned quite a few tips and tricks along the way, and I'm going to share those with you right now. Without any further ado, we're going to jump right into tip number 1, which is how to use the quick shots properly. Now, what are quick shots? Quick shots come with the drone and they're very user friendly. That being said, beginners can use this very easily, but then also if you know what you're doing with this drone and you consider yourself an expert, these are even easier to use for you. Pretty much all you have to do is go into the DJI Go 4 app, load up your drone, and once you're in the air, click on the camera icon, and in that you'll find quick shots. Now when you go in there are quite a few and you can choose your picking. I like the boomerang a lot just because I believe it really does show a cool depth of field when you circle around yourself with it. And this shot is very easy to do pretty much anywhere. Certain shots are made better for certain locations. You can mess around with them and see what fits you better. Now we're going to jump right into tip number 2, which is how to link the DJI Spark remote if you buy it afterwards. Now what I mean by that is, say you don't buy the Flymark combo and you buy the drone and the remote separately, I'm going to teach you how to link the remote and the drone very quickly. So to start this off, make sure you have your drone and your remote out. You want to turn on your drone and the remote so they're both on. If it connects already based off previous connection, that's fine. I'm going to show you how to cancel that connection and then relink them. So once you have them both on, you want to hold the power button on the drone until you hear one beep. This beep lets you know that the connection has been broken and now you're ready to repair. Now you want to grab your remote and find the customizable button located on the back side, and you want to hold that down. You want to hold it until you hear another beep off this remote, and that means this remote is trying to reconnect with the drone. Wait till you get a green light on your remote, which means you are all good and connected, and now you're ready to go fly your drone anywhere. And this is just another side note I feel like I should add. I believe a remote with the drone is needed, as flying with the phone is not the best way to go about doing this. I believe the joysticks on the remote help out a lot, plus all the customizable buttons, and you can tilt the gimbal up and down very easily and very smoothly. Also, flying with the remote honestly just feels more natural. Like me, if I'm holding my phone like this and trying to fly the drone, I just don't like it. That is a preference thing though, so some people might like this, but I'd recommend buying the remote if you haven't already. Alright, so now you have your drone all set up, all ready to fly, and that takes us into tip number 3, plan your shots out. Go to a location where you think you're gonna fly. You want to look around and find at least 2 to 4 good locations, and these are what I call the shots you need. When I say this, these are shots that you will not leave this spot until you get. These needed shots are what people strive to get. They're the golden shots in their video. These are their prized, like they're just those amazing shots that people wish they could get. I want you to plan these out, pick 2 to 4 of them, and keep those in the back of your mind. Now after you do this, I want you to keep looking around and find anywhere from 3 to 5 shots that you want. Now what I mean by this is it's not going to be a bad thing if you don't get these shots, as they're not your needed shots. These are just the ones that if you get as an extra, you'll throw them in your video and it'll just add to, the other shots truly. Now once you have these all planned out, go ahead and take your drone up and try and get these shots. Now that kind of brings me into another point. If you don't have enough time to get all these shots, I would highly recommend investing in another battery. I bought another battery, I want to say a month after I bought my drone, and it was a very good decision because now I can keep my drone up in the air a lot longer and get all the shots I want. Obviously, as you know, if you buy another battery, it pretty much doubles your flight time, thus giving you double the amount of time to keep your drone up in the air and get all the shots you want. So now you take your drone up in the air, you're getting ready to take your shots. This takes us right into tip number 4. Try to not use sport mode to get cinematic shots. When you fly in sport mode, it messes with the camera too much, and this causes the camera to tilt left or right when you're zipping it around in sport mode. When you're in normal mode, this does not happen. Normal mode keeps the drone super smooth, and you can pretty much whip the camera around however you feel necessary, and they will be very smooth. When it's in sport mode, it's just too rough. But yes, there is an option where you can actually get a few shots in sport mode, and I would not recommend tilting your drone left or right when you're doing this. You can pretty much just fly forward or backwards and the camera will be just fine, and you do get that super fast motion. Now this comes in handy when you're shooting a nice pullback shot. Say you're standing on something and you think it looks really cool around you and you want the drone right in front of you, and all you want it to do is just shoot way off into the distance and get the entire background behind you. Using sport mode for this pullback shot is pretty much necessary. It makes the time to take this shot a lot shorter. Now since this shot is a lot shorter, it allows you to get a quicker pullback, thus making the video perfect. Now this takes us into tip number 5, which is how to stop the motors on the drone if you're in an emergency situation. This comes in handy if your drone is not flying right, or say GPS is acting weird and you just want to land it super quickly or turn the motors off. All you have to do is go up behind the drone, grab the underbody of it, and flip it over. Now you're going to feel some resistance, but once you get about halfway, the motors will realize what is happening and will automatically shut off. Now you do sometimes have to apply some force to get the motors to shut off, as you can feel the resistance, but they will eventually give in. Alright guys, that is my 5 tips, so I really hope you enjoyed that. Now I'm actually going to go fly to location and test all these tips out, so hope you enjoy. And we're back. I just showed up at the spot where I'm going to film. A few things I'm going to keep in mind. I'm going to make sure to plan out my shots, get those needed shots and the wanted shots. Make sure everything's set and ready to go before I even take off. I'm going to use a few of those quick shots, maybe a boomerang or two, see what kind of cool footage I can get with that, because it's pretty open here and it looks amazing. So without any further ado, I'm going to go fly, and I really hope you enjoy this video.